This is the Scarf Bagara War, a Stockport County fan-created podcast, blog, YouTube live show and website. Find us at thescarfbagarawar.co.uk. For county fans, by county fans. Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Scarf Bagara War. With me, Russ Johnson. No Nick Lee. Nick Lee's taking a break for a few weeks, but you just got me for this one. And this is the first of hopefully what's many, which is a transfer special. We've never done one of these before in our coming up to 8 years existence. So feel yourself very, very lucky. I'm delighted to be joined by Brendon from Northampton Town. It's all couple. What's your podcast called?
I do a bit with Tom on What a Load of Cobblers.
What a Load of Cobblers. That's it. Yeah, because there's another one, isn't it, called It's All Cobblers to Me.
It's all Cobblers to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they your arch rivals, or do you get on with them?
I wouldn't say rivals. I don't know. You'd have to ask Tom on that. I'm quite an amicable fan. I get on with everybody. I want to, but yeah. I mean it is what it is. We're all pulling in the same direction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, fair dues. So welcome to the Scarf Bagara War. We're going to talk about the Horsfall transfer and the seemingly social media waves that it's made. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one to chat about. So, can you just explain to us what sort of a player have we got in Fraser Horsfall?
A very, very good centre back at League Two level, I have to say. And it's been really interesting watching some Cobblers fans who are always like very glass half empty, and 1 minute it was doom and gloom that we might not keep Horsfall and blaming the club for not extending his contract in time and all this stuff. And then as soon as he was gone, it's, good riddance. It was never that good. John Guthrie's the better player anyway. But I think if you're honest, I'm not too sure about it because Cobblers have a really good recent track history of producing decent centre backs, and we picked Horsfall out from Macclesfield when we were in League One. He had a rocky start, and he really developed this last year. And we had Charlie Good, Aaron Pierre, Lloyd Jones, all quality centre backs before that he was kind of replacing. So the positive things I can say about him is he's brilliant in the air, threat in both boxes. He does have a mistake in him, and that's been pointed out since he's gone, obviously. But on the whole, a very, very good centre back at League Two, and I think he was, top of a lot of the charts for how they kind of measure centre backs last season. So yeah, you've got a player on your hands, and he was our captain as well. So big personality, a leader in the dressing room. So yeah, a good player on your hands.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, when it was announced, Challoner, our manager Dave Challoner, said that he was a ball-playing defender. Good with it at his feet. Would you go along with that? I know you just said he's really good in the air.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? There was a lot of criticism of Keith Curle when we were in League One. I don't know how aware of Keith Curle Stockport fans are, but think like Sam Allardyce on steroids. Like it was, they call it Curle ball. It's three at the back. So that you've got three centre backs for set pieces, and you play for set pieces, and weirdly, I reckon Horsfall played more with the ball then because he was asked to kind of get his head up, spray a pass. It bypassed midfield a lot, and it was at his feet to kind of find the forwards or find the wing backs. He wasn't asked to do that under Brady. I think it was a lot of sideways passes, little ones into our playmakers for him. Really, he wasn't asked to get on the ball and play. That's not to say he can't do it, but he never had a game for me where I thought, we had a ball playing centre back that you see in like, the Premier League or higher, international or Champions League. He can pass a ball, he can pick one out. But if I had to say a weakness right now, it's probably his, you can pressure him on the ball. And the mistakes he did make last season were when he was closed down, when he was pushed onto his weaker foot. He's a right-sided centre back. He doesn't like that. But then, I mean, for a centre back, he's still relatively young, and if he progresses as much as he did from our relegation season in League One to what he did last season, if he takes that jump again, I think your manager's right. You've got a championship player in your hands. And if I'm honest, there's a lot been said on social media about why he's gone to Stockport and all the reasons around that. But I was very shocked he didn't go to a high level. I thought he was minimum League One, and I thought he had a shot at Championship really with how he played last season. He was, bar those odd errors which every player has in them, he was absolutely rock solid.
Yeah, there's been a lot of reaction on social media that it was a bit of a sideways move, even a downwards move. A lot of people associating us with non-league, which is quite right. We've been a non-league team for 11 years. What's the reaction on Twitter is one thing, and I've seen a lot of that from all walks of life. It has to be said. What sort of reaction have you seen on the message boards, if any, or the more balanced fan? I would say.
Yeah, I mean, our message boards, our forums are not balanced at all.
Well, neither of ours, to be fair. So.
Yeah, no, I mean that's where you tend to find a lot of the very negative fans, and I wouldn't go there for any truth. I think everyone likes to think they've got a mate who's in the know, ITK, my least favourite acronym in the world. And I've seen all sorts of rumours about how much money is on and everything else. My personal thing, there are clubs in the non-league right now that if you go by the size of a club on how much they get in on match day, which is a really stupid way to measure what clubs are bigger than others. But, Stockport, Wrexham, even in the likes of League Two now, you've got Salford, you have Fleetwood before. They've got more money than the rest of the leagues, and you pull in an amount on match day that enables that, even if the chairman isn't going to put his hand in their pocket. So it's not like how I felt like Salford or even to an extent Wrexham, although they're getting the fans in now, where they were just kind of splashing cash that they maybe didn't have, or only because their owners they had. I feel like it's a little bit more sustainable into Stockport. And a lot of my personal opinion, a lot of the people that said it's a sideways step, I think you could say that, but Stockport is still an ambitious League Two side. It's not like he's gone to a truly newly promoted side that are going to do well to stay up. Like there are bookies putting you in the top 5 for promotion again. Do you know what I mean? And with the size crowds you get, with the pedigree, with the location of the club, and there's no reason why you can't mount that. And we saw from teams like Sutton last year, who were in and around the playoffs and nearly did it. And they would have been on a fraction of the budget that Stockport have got. So, yeah, you can look at it so many ways. I look at it as like he's moved closer to home. And I know from some of my friends in the squad and around the squad that he was very close with his family, where he's originally from. I think he's a Yorkshire lad, actually.
Yeah,
but he wants to be back near his family. If you're going to pay someone more money to be back around their family, what is still an ambitious project, whatever you think about the size of the club or where they are in relation to Northampton, I don't begrudge him it at all. And the only reason I'm so relaxed about it is because we've seen Charlie Good go, we've seen Aaron Pierre, Lloyd Jones, Turnbull. We've had a long list of centre backs go. Not all of them have either made the step up or made Charlie Good, where they got promoted at Brentford and now he's back down on loan and barely played at Sheffield United. So I'm like, at least he'll play. At least we'll get to see him. I wish him well with all of it, to be honest. And I'm already looking forward to who we bring in to replace him. You'd save yourself some money to just look whoever Colin Calderwood signs as a replacement for Horsfall. Just go in for him now, because he'll be the next one who's like everyone wants in the next 2 years' time. So yeah, I don't begrudge him it at all.
Nice. Yeah, you've got a lad called Dyche coming through, haven't you? I think it was Sean Dyche's son. So I did see one Twitter post say, "Let's hope that Dyche two foots him or something." It's like, come on, calm down.
Yeah, it's football Twitter, isn't it? And I think a lot's been said about Max Dyche and Tom, obviously, the other member of What a Load of Cobblers. He's very passionate about him coming through, and he wants to see a play a pathway for our youth. I think if the last time we got relegated from League One before this, a player that we nearly lost this summer, and I'm very grateful that we re-signed Sean McWilliams. But getting relegated was the making of him, because it meant he could come in and as an academy youth product and just play all the games, and our midfielders left and it was just him. I think with where we are as a bigger picture project, I don't know if we've got a season where we can just put Max Dyche in and hope and expect him to play 40 games like Horsfall. He's young, raw, pretty good, but I don't know. I don't see him as the natural heir to Horsfall. Asking someone, a kid who played once or twice last season, bar alone in the conference, to come in and fill the boots of someone that has just gone, captain the side and gone to Stockport for all that money, I think it's a stretch too far. But They've already said they're going to recruit someone. We need some depth at the position. Whoever tries to fill Horsfall's boots. So we'll see.
I did listen to your last podcast of last season, and you sounded pretty upbeat before the last game of the season. I don't want to drag all that up for you, but it's quite interesting to think that had you have gone up, this deal might not have gone through because you would be a League One team now.
Potentially, yeah, and that was my my defence of the club when a lot of our more negative fans said, what were we doing not tying down these players earlier? I think people have this kind of whimsical idea of what their League Two club is because we love it. As much as I love it, none of these players grow up dreaming of playing for Northampton Town, and you need to be in the strongest position possible to negotiate. And a lot of those, the bargaining powers in the hands of the players when they're going into a situation like that. It's like, we get promoted, cool, I might stick around, or maybe there's another zero on the offer that I get. Or if not, then I leave and we have to rebuild again. So, yeah, it was annoying. It was a fantastic season bar 3 games, and the last game of the season, we did what we needed to do. We won 3-1, that on any other situation. I think what's also been popping off in my mentions since Horsfall went is there was a tweet about how annoying it was, obviously how gutting it was to miss out on promotion on the final day like that. And Bristol Rovers seem to have I don't know, they I think they're really taking joy in it. I have to say, Northampton fans are not in any way annoyed at Bristol Rovers. The annoyance all falls on Scunthorpe, where we felt they kind of laid down and accepted defeat in the manner that it happened. And fair play to Bristol. They've got a lot of fans as well. Big club, manager with some pedigree. There'll be a force to be reckoned with in League One. But if it wasn't for that, it would be Northampton in there. But it was mistakes from Horsfall actually against Bristol Rovers at home where we lost the game, and if we'd have won that game, we'd have got promoted. So it kind of feels weird, all this kind of coming out at the same time with Horsfall going, and that's been the one other thing for the more negative fans to say is that it was big mistakes in pivotal games like that cost us, and they did sadly come from Horsfall.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just happy to be talking about Northampton, Bristol Rovers, and League One and League Two because having played Colwyn Bay and Rushall Olympic and qualifying for the FA Cup and being in the FA Trophy, this is great for me. It's so cathartic.
Yeah, I always say when because I do a lot of ground hopping, I go to a lot of non-league games. I actually live in London and travel back to all the Cobblers games, but I get to all non-league around here and all over the country really, and it's really grounding. You go in I always end up at Hendon up the road for me in Camden, and you talk about players and budgets even in conference teams that they couldn't dream of. Do you know what I mean? And the grass is always greener. And you chat to a Stockport fan, like you said, and you think it's amazing to be talking about these. There's Northampton fans that are not that grateful for it. I remember when we were in League One, we did a podcast with the Sunderland lads, the Roker podcast. Yeah. And they were saying, Charlie White doesn't deserve to put on a Sunderland shirt and everything like this. And I was like, he scored 15, 20 goals in League One. I would literally cut off an arm to have Charlie White in the Cobblers shirt. Do you know what I mean? And you're in the same league. So it's my bit of advice for whether you're Bristol, Cobblers, Stockport, whoever you are, however bad it is, it was the thing that got me up off the floor after the last day when Scunthorpe did roll over. Was it could always be worse. It was only 5-6 years ago Northampton were fighting for our lives to even exist, and public donations to keep the club going, and then now the owners that stepped in and saved us at the last minute, then nobody's massive fans of them and says that everything's going downhill. So the grass is always greener, but it can always be worse. So that's what I'm saying with this Horsfall thing. He's gone, but I'm sure we'll recruit well. And it'll be good to see him back at Sixfields. Hopefully he doesn't have too good a game. But yeah, you've got to look at these things positively. Otherwise, what's the point of being a football fan?
That is, do you know what? That's a very good sentiment and a good one to finish on. So, Brendon, thank you so much for coming on to our show and giving us a bit of an insight into Fraser Horsfall. I've already arranged it with Tom. When we play each other, I'll come on your podcast, and hopefully you can come back on ours, and we'll have a bit of a longer chat about the game that's about to happen.
perfectly. Hopefully, we'll be digesting some Cobblers goals. And when we get up to Stockport this season, I've not been before, so you'll have to get me the round on as a favour back for Horsfall.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
Nice one.
cheers.
Cheers, Brendon. See you later. Cheers, mate. Bye. This is the Scarf Bagara War, a Stockport County fan-created podcast, blog, YouTube live show and website. Find us at thescarfbagarawar.co.uk. For county fans, by county fans.